Hi guys, it's Mary. Welcome back. Today we're going to go over tips, tricks, and hacks, or whatever you want to call them. And I just want to say before I begin, I realize that a lot of you longtime beauty guru, makeup enthusiast kinds of people, you probably know all of these already. You've either heard me say them, you've heard somebody else say them, but I want to put them all together in one video. There might be some that I talk about that I think originated with me. But it didn't, okay? Other people do it. They just call it something different or whatever. I mean, one of the first things that Mel and I bonded over was buffing. Mel has a video on the buffing technique, okay? And I always thought that was funny. It's like I was doing that before you were a gleam in your mother's eye. And some of you will look at me in this video and say that same thing because we have people here in the Fritzy family that are older than me, okay? And you know things that I don't know or think that my generation thought of it, but really you guys were doing it before then. So let's just dig into the list and know that somewhere along the line, if I remember where I heard this or learned about it, I'll tell you. Otherwise, you know, just know that I've learned it either on YouTube or someone told me and I don't remember where I ever learned it. I'm sure I've left off a lot of things, but you know what? I learned a lot of stuff from you guys too. So leave any tips or tricks that I haven't listed or modifications to ones that I have listed below so that everybody reading can get the benefit of that. And then if you're interested in seeing what I have to say, just keep watching. The first one I have on here is to use setting spray with your concealer and your makeup. And I don't mean just spraying it on your face. When I am perfecting my concealer under my eye or on my face, that what is on the sponge is, yes, it's damp, it's wet, but most likely what has happened is I'm talking and I just didn't tell you, okay? Lots of times this happens. This is what I did with the sponge. I went like this on the back of my hand, and then I took a sponge and I went like this. So yes, the sponge is wet, it's damp, okay? But now I have introduced setting spray to it, and then I'll come onto my face and under my eye with setting spray. Or have taken my finger and just kind of done this little number while my hand was damp, like this. Okay, so I've got some setting spray on there. You can see it's wet, and I'm working it around on my finger. Come off over here, tap it off, and then go underneath my eye with my concealer. And what that does is set your makeup and help blend it in, smooth it out so that you may not even need powder under there. If you ever see me doing my makeup and I'm not putting powder under my eyes, most likely what I've done is introduced setting spray via either a sponge or my finger with the concealer. Since I've brought MAC Paint Pot back into my life, let's talk about a tip. You see how I have this? It's upside down. Now I do think that my BFF Mary Ellen from Mary Ellen After 60 is the person who taught me this. How do you preserve your paint pot? Keeping the lid on it tight, but storing it upside down. Also, I would like to take the opportunity right here to correct. I used to think back in the very beginning of my channel when I used this, that this was a primer. And then somewhere along the line, because it's not tacky, I got it in my head that I was just using it that way, but that it really isn't a primer, it's just an eyeshadow. But in fact, I've been told by a couple of you who are makeup artists that this actually is both. It's an eyeshadow, but it's also a primer. And to that end, I want to say that some of you have told me about this tip where you will line your lip with Paint Pot and it keeps your lipstick from feathering up and from your lines showing. So I can't back that tip up because I haven't actually tried it myself, but try putting the lid tightly on your, not just Paint Pot, any cream eyeshadow you have or whatever, and storing it upside down. And I don't know why. I guess the moisture falls from the bottom to the top. Today when I did my makeup, I was using Midnight Blue eyeliner in my waterline. It kind of looks black and dark, right? So you might not know that it's blue, but it helps the whites of my eyes to look brighter and whiter. If you'll use blue, a midnight blue, in your waterline, it will make your eyes look whiter. The reason that I always put, and even if I don't have on a full face of makeup, I won't leave without taking a dark eyeliner, and I will always bring it in the tight line. And this question still to this day comes up when I say, I'm gonna go in my waterline, I'm gonna go in my tight line. People don't know where I'm talking about, and that is here. So, right there, the rim of your eye, below your eyeball is the waterline, and up here, the rim on the inside of your upper lid is your tight line. So I will take a dark liner and come into the tight line if I don't do anything else. If I don't even wear eyeshadow, I will put on a swipe of mascara, just one, and I will tight line in a dark liner my liner, and that makes my lash line look thick, full, and I think it makes me look better. And since we're talking about lashes, my friends, you can get your eyelashes to stay up when you curl them if you will work on them after mascara. I mean, yes, you probably should start doing your lashes by taking an eyelash curler and curling your lashes first. And I'm not telling you to use something like this on your lashes when there's mascara on it, even though I'd be lying if I said that I don't do the no. Okay, you can pull out your eyelashes doing that. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to tell you not to do that, even though I know a lot of you know that I do that. Instead, you may want to invest in a heated lash curler. And now I will say to anyone who's going to say to me, what kind of an idiot puts a hot thing next to their... This isn't hot. I know, right? I got a scolding email on this once, as if I said, stick a scalding stick in your eye. This doesn't get hot. It's not going to burn you. It's warm. So it would be like if you took your blow dryer and you got this hot, okay, with your blow dryer, and then you curled your lashes, but you can burn yourself like that. You're not going to burn yourself with this. This particular one is made by Grande Lash, and it's called the Grande Lash Lift. And it's rechargeable, and it needs charged because that's why I'm doing the no, all right, is because I haven't charged it. I need to charge this. But then I got to go into the bag and look for all the charging cables for the one that goes to this. In any case, all you do is turn this on and then come to the base of your lashes with your mascara on, okay? And what you're doing is you're kind of melting your lashes up. And when you do that, it holds the curl. The secret to getting your mascara on without a whole bunch of clumps is to actually take the time to use a mascara comb. This one here from Sephora, I don't know if you can buy this anymore. I've had this forever and a day. It's the number 21. It's the Pro Brow Comb. So you use this part on your brows. But this side, okay, do you remember when we were young girls and we would stand in our bedroom, put on mascara, and then we would take a pen, a safety pen, or a needle, or whatever, and we would go through each of the eyelashes to make sure they were all individually, yeah. Now you still got to be careful because that is metal, okay? So is this. This one I know you can buy. It's from Grande. It's the Grande Lash Separator. Both of these do the same thing. You just like put on a coat of mascara, you see it's kind of clumped together, comb through it. Okay, it's the same thing you were doing in your bedroom when you were young with the needle, except there's a whole bunch of them. You just have to be very careful. This one, if you ask me, is a little bit safer than using this one. I don't know why. I guess because it's curved. See that? You can just blink on it or come this way and get it. But yeah, then put on another coat of mascara. And you just keep doing that. And what you will do is build lashes that are all well defined and individually separated because they were using one of these. If you're part of the Fritzy family, you already know how much I love mascara. So there is a tip that you probably think isn't a tip because I do it all the time, so you get to see that happen. But if you've just wandered here to this video, we would love to have you as part of the Fritzy family, so just click this. But one of the things that the Fritzy family knows that you don't know about me is that I always pretty much start with a lash serum. No, this is a lash primer. There's a difference. And I love the Sills Booster. And I also love this one here from Ulta, the Nourishing Mascara Primer. You can get a head start on your mascara and really give it some oomph if you'll only put a primer underneath it. And some of these, like this one here, and well, this has some too, but not as much as this one, ironically. Believe it or not, I looked up the ingredients, and there are 4 lash-loving ingredients in this primer. So it nourishes your lashes while you are putting on your mascara. There's others out there. Essence makes one. I don't particularly like that one, but Essence makes one, L'Oreal makes one, Dior makes one, Urban Decay makes one. But if you think, well, that's just an extra step that costs, you know, more or as much as the mascara itself, and I don't need it, I'll just use more mascara. Okay, this is kind of an expensive mascara that I can make go a lot farther if I'll just put a primer up underneath it. And you know, I've said over and over and over that you don't, you know, necessarily need a $30 mascara. You can go to the Ulta or the drugstore and pick up, you know, a really nice mascara that does really good, and it will perform at least 5 times better over the top of one of these primers. So if you don't know about lash primers, well, now you do. And before we move on to another mascara trick, I wanted to tell you that I use this. Now, it's Grande Brow, okay? They make Grande Lash, and if you don't know it, I'll tell you, Grande doesn't want me to tell you that. Okay, because you probably shouldn't use this the way I do. One of the main reasons I'm sure they don't want me to tell you this is because, well, it's a little tiny lash wand, okay, inside of the lash serum. But this serum, that's the brow serum, is exactly the same serum that they sell you for a little bit more money for your lashes. Shh. Don't tell them that I'm telling you guys that stuff, okay? You know, you can use the brow in your brow. You can use the brow on your lash line. Just be careful, because see, that brow brush is bigger. Okay, so you're going to get a lot more, and a lot more does not necessarily equate to bigger lashes. You'll just be wasting more of your serum. So, you know, maybe take the brush from the old one and put it in here. Just saying. That's why mine says brow, is because I'm using the brow one right now on my lashes. You can get your eyelashes to be better if you use an eyelash serum. Am I telling you to use an eyelash serum? No, I'm not. I'm not telling you that. I'm just saying I do. And it's a tip if you want to. But do your homework. There are maybe some side effects from this that you don't want, that you're not willing to take. Just saying, do your homework. But this is not the same thing as a prescription-based one like Latisse. Okay, you got to go to your doctor for that. So when you open up a mascara, don't do this. What you're doing is introducing air into there. All right, but I know why you're doing it. You're doing it because it's brand new and you really want to get it all coated up, right? So you're doing that number, get it all over it, right? Well, you don't have to do that. Instead, work it around inside, okay? Just work the wand back and forth, round and round, not up and down, to get that mascara all over it and ready for use. So you can work your mascara, your brand new mascara, and its wand. Just go in circles without pulling it out. Don't do the whole up and down thing. One more thing about mascaras, and then I swear I will move on to something else. So, you know, you can buy these little spoolie things in packs of like 500 for next to nothing. And Q-tips you get at the store. These are your friends. You can do your mascara with it. Maybe you have a mascara that you like the formula, but you hate the brush, and you can just get one of these, stick it in there, and do your mascara, and then throw this away. It's also a very hygienic way. But both of these can also be used to clean up mascara that gets transferred. So if you've ever accidentally got mascara on your face, or, you know, you've blinked and you've got it up here, leave it alone. I know this has to be a tip you've heard. Probably the first tip you ever heard was this. Once you let that mascara dry, you can come up to it with either a spoolie and brush it right off, or take a Q-tip and take it right off. Or on your face, just come up to where you got it and roll it right off. It'll come right off. Or this is also really good for exfoliating your lips. Let's go to the lips tip. This actually came up not that long ago. Somebody asked me, how do I make my lipstick last all day? Well, you might not be able to, but you can get it to last a long time by doing a few things. The first thing I would recommend is get something like this. This is the e.l.f. exfoliator. So exfoliate your mouth, exfoliate your face. Okay. When you exfoliate, you're making sure that no dead skin is on, and when there's no dead skin on, your makeup will lay nicer and it won't look old and yucky. This has these little sugar crystals in there. When you come in the morning, the first thing before you do anything should be to exfoliate your mouth. So just take one of these and do this, and you're working everything loose with that. Wipe it off. Now I'm going to take my lip liner and I'm going to line my lips and fill them in. If I didn't fill in my mouth, then what's going to happen is I'm going to wear off the lipstick and leave the liner. This is a few hours old. Line my lips. Okay. And this is just my preference. This is just what I think. I do not come all the way to the corners of my mouth. I just line my lips. This is hard to do on camera because I'm talking. Now I will fill it in. And I'm really working that liner in. And now that I've done that, I can actually use my lipstick. And what you want to do is use several thinner coats of lipstick versus just keep doing that. If you just keep doing that, it's like when you paint your fingernails, okay? And you just want to be done really quick, right? So you take a big glob of it and you put it on there. First of all, you're waiting forever for it to dry, and it kind of looks yucky. But if you were to do a couple of thinner coats, it's going to look better. So the next thing would be to get the lipstick on inside all the cracks and crevices. You can do that with the bullet like I'm doing. Or if your lip brushes aren't dirty, you can use a lip brush to really scrub the color into your mouth and then blot. My grandma taught me this. Well, she didn't say, Mary, this is how you put on your lipstick. I just watched her and I learned it, okay? Then come back in. Back in the day, when my grandmother did this, it was like old Hollywood, right? Marilyn Monroe's makeup artist, Whitey, used to do this with Marilyn. And put it on. Well, actually, he'd use several different colors of red and stuff, but do that a couple of times and you've got that really good and scrubbed into your lip. And then if you want to make sure it really isn't going to move and that it's going to stay its longest, get the setting powder that you used at the vanity. Get yourself a fluffy blending brush. Get some powder in there, and I can come right here just on my mouth, or I can put the Kleenex back here and contour like that. Now this lipstick is going to be here for hours. I can eat and it will still be there. And if I did eat something like fettuccine alfredo and it was real oily and my lipstick started to break down, it's not a big tragedy, okay? Because it's going to wear off evenly, because I lined under the lipstick. So this is another lip tip, a separate one. But I have a protruding, poutier bottom lip than I do a top lip. So I want to make my top lip, not my bottom lip, I want to make my top lip a little bigger. And the way I can do that is with a plumper. And I will put it on only the top lip, not the bottom. And I will come over my Cupid's bow with it so that it swells up that part of my mouth, not this part of my mouth. And then after you are ready to do your mouth, just wipe off the plumper. This one is relatively new from Maybelline and it hurts. It burns. It's got a chili pepper on there for a reason. Oh, there's all kinds of lip plumpers. Usually the ones that work the best are the ones that hurt the most. This one, it doesn't hurt, it's just hot. I'm thinking Sexy Mother Pucker by Soap and Glory, the one in the black tube. XXL, I think it is. Ooh, that one will, that's got bees on the inside. They like go bzzz all over your mouth. They're stinging you, okay? Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme. Now the whole purpose of these is to agitate your mouth so that the blood rushes there and then your lip is plumped because of it. Other lip plumpers that don't hurt at all, okay, but they work because when your lips are super hydrated, they also look bigger, and that's how City Beauty works. It doesn't hurt at all. But when you put City Beauty lip plumpers on, your lips do look bigger because, well, they're so juicy, right? And juicy lips equates to, you know, plumped mouth. The next tip that I have for you guys is actually what I call getting loaded. I do this for an entire week with all my powder products. So I will take a powder like this Laura Mercier, and I will take this brush See, there's a lot of stuff on here, right? I'm not gonna go all over my face with that. What I wanna do is get all of this down inside this brush. What I'm gonna do is, over a trash can, I'm going to first do this, and the powders will start migrating their way down into the brush, because I'm just doing that and getting it in there. Next thing I do over a trash can is take and put it in the cap and twirl it all around like this, so that I am loading this brush full. The brush is now loaded. This will go all week. I don't have to open this back up again. Tomorrow, when I do my makeup, I don't have to get the powder back out now. The brush is loaded. I don't do that on camera because you need to see me and what products I'm using. But during the week here, to speed things up and everything else, I load the brushes, not the eyeshadow brushes, but my face brushes. I will take my blush brush that I'm using for the week and load it full of the blush I'm going to use, full of the setting powder I'm going to use. That will last me 2 or 3 applications, and I don't have to do it again. I will also do things like, do you guys remember my Teddy Blake purse? I don't know yet, but I think Teddy Blake wanted to sponsor a segment of a video where I showed you and told you how much I love this purse still, which I do, okay? I love it because it's so little. And I mean, it's not little, but it's little that I don't have to carry everything, and it's not heavy. One of the reasons that I can get by with that is because I load a puff. What do you think I'm going to do while I'm out? I'm going to touch up my lipstick, so I only need this, a mirror, the lipstick I'm wearing, and I don't need to take anything else because I have a loaded puff in the bag. That's right. And before we put the Teddy Blake down, let me tell you, I still love it. Okay, they want me to tell you that. But the reason they want me to tell you is because there's a sale going on for Easter, and they thought you might like to know about it. And I think you might like to know about it too, because I still love this little bag. This doesn't hurt me to carry at all. Now, it does have a strap, so you could do it crossbody if you wanted to, but I tend to like to just carry it in my hand. But in any case, when I carry this bag, I just want my billfold and essentials, right? Keys, billfold, my calendar. I don't need all of the makeup in my makeup bag. I only need my mirror, my lipstick, and a loaded puff. Now that you know about the sale and all that jazz, let's put this down now and go into my loaded puff. I did the same thing with it as I did the brush. What I did was I took this and I loaded it up with my setting powder. And then I flicked it off. I went like this and I flicked it off. And this is loaded with my setting powder. So now all I gotta do is get out my mirror and do this. And I'm touching up my face with a loaded puff. I can't believe that I didn't even mention this, because by far the most asked question that people ask me about is, what are you doing with these patches under your eyes? I have them on in almost all my Get Ready With Me's. And most of you know why. It's because of the benefits of soaking my under eyes in my serum or my eye cream for a longer period of time. But something that you might not know is that also, it acts as an eyeshadow fallout catcher. So, if you're like me and you're too old to be doing that baking technique, don't worry about the fallout from your eyeshadow, because the patches will catch it. But what if you don't use patches, or you're out of them? Well, here's the tip. Undercoat your under eyes with a thicker layer of your eye cream, or if that's too expensive, a really great moisturizer, because that's going to do the same thing. And then when you're ready to move on, use a tissue and wipe it away. Fallout be gone with the cream, and your eyes are bathed in goodness, ready for that concealer. And the last tip that I have for you, I've been doing since the beginning of the Beauty Blender. I remember seeing somebody take a pair of scissors and a beauty blender once and cutting the thing in half. The makeup is still in there, breeding bacteria and stuff. And I'm like, oh no. And that's when I started microwaving my beauty blenders. This is not a beauty blender. But the reason I use this sponge is because it always holds up underneath me in the way I wash a sponge, which is, I'm constantly digging my thumb into it. And I do break down the e.l.f. sponge too, but not as fast as, I can break down, seriously, I can break down a Real Technique sponge, the one that looks like this. I can break that thing down the first time I use it. That's how rough I am. Do you do that with your kitchen sponge? I do. when I get done cleaning the kitchen, the dish rag and the sponge both hit the microwave for 40 seconds. It kills the bacteria. And that's what I do with my sponges. Now I have had a couple of sponges. I don't remember the name of the company that couldn't take it. So that's why I'm saying be cautious. Maybe you want to do it with an older one that you're getting ready to replace just to make sure. But what I do is after I wash my sponges, I gather them all together in a bowl. I put them in the microwave for 40 seconds and then I pull the bowl out and set it until they're cooled down and then I let them dry. That way I feel like I've killed all the bacteria that is in the sponge. I take no responsibility if you put your beauty blender that you paid $20 for in there, or your stands out sponge or whatever. I mean, I pay $5 for these. So if you pay $25 for a sponge and you ruin it in the microwave, just remember, I warned you, it may not work for the sponge you're using, but it does for this. All right then, you guys go wild. Down in the comment section, leave your tips and tricks. I want the whole Fritzy family to not only hear what I have to say, but to hear what you have to say about your tips and tricks too. Possibly there are things that you do that I also do, but didn't remember to tell you in this video. Leave it below so that we can all read it and learn from you. And you know what I'm going to tell you before you get out of here? Yes, you do. I'm going to tell you that you're the best part of the Fritzy family, because you are. And I'm going to tell you that if you're not having a blessed day, all you got to do to get one is to go be a blessing to somebody else. And until next time, Lord willing, love you, see ya, bye, and I'm out.
Today we're going to go over tips, not trips. I want to go on a trip. In other words, I do this, I think that it's, look how big that brow is. That's not a brow. Okay, here's a little tip for you. I forgot. I forgot what it was. Real important tip. Here's a little tip for you. I forgot again. Oh yeah, don't drop your eyeshadow on the floor. If you drop your eyeshadow on the floor, then it's going to be a mess. It's going to be broken and everything else. Leave it alone, and it'll come home, wagging its tail behind it. And don't ask me if I'm contrary. I am. You should not eat. You know, but that really does taste like a dreamsicle. The next tip I have for you guys is actually getting loaded. Oh yeah, party on, dude. Seriously, I can't tell you how many times I've come in here and this brush is hanging out with all the other ones, and it's ridiculous because it's loaded and it's just misbehaving, and I'm just kidding you.